Good afternoon, everybody. It is Friday, January 17th, and we are 3 days away from President Trump being inaugurated on Monday. And as we know, he's going to be the most crypto-friendly president ever, the only crypto-friendly president so far. And the crypto markets are really bouncing because of this. A lot of it's anticipation. There's anticipation of a lot of different things here. So let's just jump into it. So Trump is going to make it obviously a national priority. One of the things he's going to do a myriad of executive orders on day one with all kinds of different things, but crypto is going to be a big part of it. And there's even going to be a crypto ball at the White House, believe it or not, here for the inauguration night. So that's how big crypto is and how big of a player the crypto people have become here. And one of the first executive orders he's going to do is to overturn Joe Biden's executive order, which forced banks, if they were going to hold crypto, to hold it as a liability as compared to it being an asset. And it just made it very difficult for banks to want to hold crypto for people. So Trump's going to make that pretty easy. I would expect that's going to happen by late spring, early summer, that we will start seeing banks custody cryptos. We already have firms like Fidelity, and I'm sure there's probably a few other firms that do that as well. But I think we're going to start seeing major banks do this. And think about it, if you could just go on your Wells Fargo or Chase or Bank of America, TD Bank site and buy and sell cryptos there. And you're only going to get limited to a certain amount of them, whatever exchange they end up connecting with. But I think there's something that's going to be pretty big. I would imagine Coinbase will be a big part of it for the U.S.-based banks, just because Coinbase is a U.S.-based company. And Trump is very friendly with the CEO. And which leads me to another point here where they're going to have obviously a Bitcoin strategic reserve is the big talk here. But it's more than just Bitcoin, what Trump is looking at right now. He would also like to add Solana, XRP, and USDC, which is a stable coin. It's a stable coin. It's Coinbase's stable coin, and add all those in as a strategic reserve. And this is pretty sharp, right? Because, Bitcoin is going to have tremendous growth, but Solana XRP is going to have exponential growth, potentially beyond, at this point, Bitcoin in the short term, because altcoins generally outpace Bitcoin getting to this point of the market. Bitcoin leads a surge. It's done it. It's 105 roughly right now. And it's on its way to new highs. The all-time high is 108. I expect this to get to anywhere from 120 to 125 here by early February. It won't take long, maybe sooner. And then we'll see, we'll maybe get a little pullback, correction, and then a pushback up from there. Again, it's not going to be smooth sailing cryptos from here on out, because there's going to always be ups and downs. You got to be ready for that. You could buy some altcoins. Again, we're running at the end of the time for you to be buying altcoins here. We probably got another week, maybe two tops of you being able to buy. Now, what you can do, and not investment advice here, but one of the things that I'm looking to do as I hit sell points on some of these different cryptos I have, the ones that have surged early, like XRP has surged early, Stellar Lumens, which is XLM. You have SUI, which surged early. As I hit sell points there and take money out and take some cash out, I might actually flip it into other cryptos that haven't yet moved, right? Because maybe the narrative on those haven't moved yet. The AI coins haven't really gotten moving at all yet, very small amount. So that's one way to flip and kind of maximize your returns for this cycle here, and even going into next cycle. But again, I think I told most of you that I'll be looking to sell pretty much all of my cryptos, at least most, if not all my cryptos, by the end of the year. Really, before that, I would say probably by May is when I should be out of the majority of my cryptos, including Bitcoin. And I'm expecting a big pullback. Typically, sell in May and go away, right? And that's been the case in past times with crypto as well as the stock market. So I'm expecting that. I'm going to do that. And if Bitcoin dips, I may buy that dip a bit, just a bit, because I expect it again to peak after the summer going into the fall. And then before the end of the year, everything should peak out, but you'll have some altcoins that really hit highs in March, April, and May. they may crash and never come back. A lot of them may crash and be gone, right? Some of them are just going up because everything is going up. And once the irrational exuberance goes away, boom, these come down and they don't come back. But certain other ones will come up that where the narrative wasn't pushed yet. And that could be gaming at that point. That could be NFTs. But I do think we're running out of steam on the meme coins by that point. I think we'll be hitting the end of the meme coin cycle, meaning a lot of them will be going away. People realize, all right, they were fun for a time, but they're going to be gone. Ones like Dogecoin's been around for a long time, will probably still be around. Same with Shiba Inu and potentially quite a few others as well. But a lot of them, or majority of them, expect them to go away. It's going to be the good projects that are going to continue, the good AI projects, the good AI agent projects, which it's going to take a while for us to figure out exactly what all of them are. One of them I just took a big position in is BitTensor. TAO is the ticker on that one, and that's trading around 477. But that one I expect to be one of the monsters here, and again, it's an expensive, pricey one, but I expect it to be one of the drivers of this market and do extraordinarily well. All right, let's look and see what cryptos are looking like. Or again, it's a green day, right? Like everything is green except for a couple of coins here, like Hex, XDC, A116Z. So you have a few that are down, but the majority are up solidly. Bitcoin's leading the way. Beam, a good reward gaming coin right here that I like, that I'm probably going to be popping into here today as one of my buys. I got to finish my buys this week and weekend, and then I'm just going to be sitting on them and selling them at my sell points here. And stay tuned, because I'm going to give you sell points when I'm going to be selling mine and what price points I think you're going to get to. And sell them in anywhere from 3 to 4 different segments, either 25% or 33%, 33 and 33. So trying to figure out exactly which ones I'm going to do that with. I've already had one sale in Bitcoin that I've done, but I expect I'll probably have another one in Bitcoin fairly soon, probably before XRP hits and probably before Cardano hits and Theta and a few others. But Theta looks like it's going up to anywhere from the 9 to 12, maybe as high as 15 this cycle. We will see, but I do plan on being out of that one unless great news comes in on it and pushes things up higher. It's interesting because you even got the metaverse coming here, Sandbox, which is a big Snoop Dogg one. And some of these other coins that have not moved in a little while are starting to move a little bit more. Doge, I expect that to bounce big time next week with the, even over the weekend, but in next week with Elon and Vivek becoming a big part of the Department of Government Efficiency. So we'll see what goes on there. Let's see what else we've got in news here. One of the things I wanted to talk about is ETFs. So we will talk a little bit about ETFs here. Obviously, Bitcoin was like the most successful ETF ever. Ethereum has done well, but not as well as they had hoped. And I think a lot of it's just because that token, I'm not an Ethereum fan. I don't like Vitalik Buterin. He has ties to the World Economic Forum. Don't want any parts of it. It's a centralized protocol. It's not decentralized like Bitcoin and other ones are. And I really don't want any part of it. They're expensive gas fees. Developers are leaving. They're going to Solana, Avalanche, Algorand, and others. Also, you got to remember that American companies, the U.S. crypto-based companies, that's a narrative that's not going to go away here. That's going to continue to grow. And I'm expecting that law to be passed one way or another, where Trump is really going to push and think about it from, even politically, this makes a ton of sense. But for the citizenry of the country, it makes a ton of sense. You're going to bring in companies, crypto companies that are currently out of the country, to come here to get the benefits of having no taxation when you sell your cryptos. So a lot of companies are going to be coming over. Right now, we have a bunch of U.S. companies, the big ones being XRP, Cardano, you have Theta, you have Algorand, you have Avalanche, you have Sui, you have Solana, and there's a host of others. But there's going to be a lot more coming. I would expect a lot more coming. And I would think this would pass, one, because we got a Republican-led Congress, even though it's a small majority in the House, but it's still enough. Politically, if you're on the left and you vote against this, you're against the people, because this is an opportunity for people to have great returns and pay no taxes on those returns. Now, we know the government loves to get their grimy little hands on every penny we make. We're not taxed once, not twice, not three, not four, not five. You're taxed over and over and over on your money. It's just ridiculous how much we pay in taxes here in the U.S. We're far and away the most taxed country on earth. People don't realize that compared to other countries. Europe doesn't tax you once and then tax you again and again and again on everything. Think about it. When you go, you get your paycheck, that's taxed. It's taxed federally. It's taxed by the state and your local municipality if they have a tax. Then you go to a store and you buy, and then you got a sales tax again, state, going to the state there, or a local municipality. In some cases, they do that. And then you have real estate taxes, again, going to the state. So you have a host of taxes. You're just taxed beyond belief in this country. It is absurd and stupid, and it just makes the cost of living, it makes it much more difficult for people to make things meet from day to day here. Anyway, so this could be a great opportunity. And think about it as cryptos and blockchain are the fourth industrial revolution here, which we started here probably around 2010, a little bit before, but roughly around 2010. Bitcoin started 2009. But you have the last industrial revolution, the automobile and everything here in the 1950s, really pushing and driving us, 40s, 50s in that time frame. And now you have this one. And we need to be the driver for not just that one, but this industrial revolution to bring more and more wealth, to strengthen the dollar, to strengthen everything here. And with the Bitcoin strategic reserve, that's just going to backstop the dollar more, help us potentially with our debt, because it's unsustainable what we have debt-wise. As a lot of you know, we have just about a $2 trillion budget deficit for 2025. Plus, we have $3 trillion coming up due to be refinanced. So we're looking at $5 trillion to refinance, which is why the Federal Reserve has painted itself in a corner where it has to do one of two things, if not both, or three things really: quantitative easing, them buying the debt, right? Them buying the T-bonds, which bring the rate down. And also reducing the long-term rates to make it more affordable for the U.S. to make the payments. Because right now, based on what the rates are, that's what we pay our debt on, what the Federal Reserve sets those rates at. So they really need to reduce those rates, get them back down. I don't know how far they're looking to get them back down, at least a couple of times this year, if not 3 times. We'll see, potentially more. But we will see how things go. Luckily, the inflation numbers weren't too bad. So that's a little bit helpful, and helpful for people, even though it's, CPI, it's the government. You can't trust those numbers by any means, but it's still a positive sign. And hopefully it means that they will then continue to reduce the rate, because they're worried about inflation coming back. But it will end up coming back at some point. It just might not be till later in the year 2026. But the ETFs that look potentially could be coming out here, next thing to talk about, the ETFs, I think you have coming up very soon. You have a Solana, XRP may be the first, and a Litecoin and a Dogecoin ETF. And then I think you're going to see a myriad of other ETFs where they're a combination of different altcoins, right? You could have a combination of Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, myriad of other ones in there too. Could be a basket of them. So look for a lot more ETFs to be approved. Look for a lot more SEC friendly things. The SEC is such a joke. They went after Ripple, which is XRP, lost badly, were ripped by the judge, and then they're trying to appeal, lost the appeal, then tried to set a dollar amount in the billions for them as a fine, and the judge made them settle in the millions, way more. And realistically, they shouldn't have to pay anything because the SEC was the one in the wrong. But as soon as Trump gets in there, Gensler's out of there, that dirty Gary Gensler scumbag. Get him out, get somebody in there who's more crypto friendly, and grow this industry, grow this business. It's going to create so many jobs. Think about how many more crypto companies that will come here, how many more jobs, good high paying jobs that could be. I know there's a lot of people in this country who basically cut their nose off to spite their face by who they vote for, and then the horrible politicians that they put in place, like the last administration we've had the last 4 years, who has been just so detrimental to everything in our economy, but especially this industry here. imagine if they won again and then all these companies moved and went to another country, say China, which is very unlikely, but to another country that's more friendly. And that's where it has the fourth industrial revolution and not us, right? We want that advantage. We definitely would love that advantage here in the US. So hopefully we dodged a bullet there and we grow it here, and Trump continues to grow the crypto-friendly legislation, and banks start custodying, and everything just becomes hopefully a lot easier and easier and easier. And I think if that happens, if as soon as the strategic Bitcoin strategic reserve is announced, I think you're going to see a bunch of other countries start jumping in. I know a bunch are talking about it right now. They know the U.S. is probably going to front run it, and then other countries will follow suit, guaranteed. Germany's already, the people are so ticked off at the German government for selling their Bitcoin. They sold it at $50,000 per coin, and now it's over 105, right? So major mistake they made, foolish, and it's hurt them. And that's what Trump is trying to stop from happening. Again, you're going to have drawdowns happen, but if you look at MicroStrategy, what he's done since 2020, buying Bitcoin, that company is flourished unbelievably, even with ups and downs. Didn't matter where you've been in a 3.5-year bear market, it's still doing phenomenal. So lots of great growth here. Let's just take a look at what's going on here in the market and where things are. That's, Bitcoin's doing well, 104.6 and change. Let's see. I know CoinMarketCap is one I wanted to look at. Let's see if we got anything on there. Here we go. So one of the things people are talking about is potential flipping of XRP to Ethereum. That XRP will become the second biggest crypto behind Bitcoin. Let me give you a little backdrop here. So the last two cycles they've been talking about, when is the flipping going to happen? When Ethereum flips Bitcoin, I just thought this makes no sense. Why would Ethereum flip Bitcoin? Ethereum is nowhere near as good a protocol as what Bitcoin is. And then there's all this talk, and of course that hasn't happened, and I don't ever see it happening, right? I don't foresee that happening. I do foresee XRP overtaking Ethereum, but I don't think this cycle, potentially next cycle, is when it'll overtake it, when things really grow from their perspective, and when Ethereum loses market share to Solana, Avalanche, Algorand, Polkadot, Cardano, and others. So that's when I expect to see that happen. Let's see, like XRP has had a rip-roaring run. It's held back today, but it's on its way to somewhere between 375 and 450 before a pullback. And of course, Stellar Lumens XLM will follow suit with that as well. Dogecoin's up big. It's done really well, up 9.34% today and up 25% over the last week. Cardano's done well over the past week, 25%. Chainlink is really starting to move up. And Chainlink is an oracle. For those who don't know what an oracle is, it feeds information into a lot of blockchains. And they're involved in at least 7 different major blockchains that they feed information into. So Chainlink is essential in cryptocurrency. It's a news feed into a lot of different crypto blockchains. And 25 right now, it's jumped up nicely. It's still a bargain. It should hit somewhere between 100 and 120 this cycle, potentially even a little bit more. SUI, we know, has really been one of the darlings of this. Behind Solana, I think it's been one of the darlings, but it's a newer protocol. Hedera Hashgraph is involved in so many different things, and even is in space right now. We'll get into that another day when I talk about Hedera and what it does, but that's probably going to peak out somewhere between 90 and $1.30, somewhere in that amount this cycle. I would lean towards around $1 or $1.10, maybe, would be my guess. Ton Coin is doing some major things that's probably going to get to $75 to $90 this cycle here. We already talked about Litecoin. That's another blockchain that's similar to Bitcoin. However, instead of 21 million, I think there's like 83 million Litecoin. Again, limited, and it's quick blockchain, great for transactions. It's quick, inexpensive. Polkadot should hit around 65, 70 this cycle here. It's been around for a little while. Near Protocol, big AI token. This is one of my favorites. Besides BitTensor, Near would be my next favorite, and 573 is probably going to be $65 to $75, maybe even as high as $85 a cycle. Look for somewhere in that range. Internet Computer is another good one. They're all doing pretty well. Here's Potenser. That's 487. And this one's going to be in the many thousands this cycle. It's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. Algorand as well. Probably hit $3 to $5, maybe even a hair more this cycle. Some really good coins. I'll start getting into some more individually as the market heats up and which ones look good and which ones are being talked about, which ones are being forgotten about. But lots of good news going on in the crypto space right now that's all affecting us in it will be affecting us in a very positive way. And now the most important thing to remember this cycle is to make sure you don't round trip your bags. It's okay to have some. Let's say you have 3 price points that you have to sell and your first 2 are met. The third one is never met. Don't forget you can get it back on the rebound down, right? Just take that last sell point as long as it doesn't crash through it. And you're just going to have a little less returns than you would hope for. But it's the way it goes here. You don't want to try to wait for the highest point, the peak, and then sell then because you might be stuck holding. And learn from my lessons, learn from other influencers' lessons here that have been in this industry for a long time. They're doing this since 2017, the cryptos. And I love it. It's fun. It's exciting. Tons of research to do. Great technology coming. AI is so innovative, and we're just in the very, very infancy stages of AI and AI agents, which are going to be huge over the next few years here. So keep your eye on that space. Keep researching. Keep learning more and more, and understand this is a game, cryptos, that you got to get in and out of. You got to be very nimble. You got to be on top of things. And if you aren't able to be on top of things, you got to follow people who are on top of things. I can tell you it's time to get out. We're nearing time to get out. Like we're near high, you might want to sell now. So that's what my job is right now, to try to get as many people into it and then out of and actually make money. Because remember, like 5% of people make money in this space, unfortunately. And that's because most people just end up holding their stuff too long and then selling and lose money. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll catch you in the next live cast.